Mike and Beyond Stillness met for 7 weeks to articulate and publicly share this story of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope. This interview was recorded during the final meeting. To learn more about our programs, services, or to sponsor a guest, please visit us at beyondstillness.org. This week on Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke, we welcome guest Mike King. On January 16th of 2017, Mike's life was full, teaching, coaching, and raising a family. But in an instant, everything changed. A stroke stole his ability to swallow, eat, and life as he knew it. What followed was a battle he never saw coming, one of survival, loss, self-discovery, and a renewed sense of purpose. In this episode, Mike shares his journey of renewal, from isolation to connection. Through unexpected friendships, volunteer work, and a shift in perspective, he found a way forward, and now offers his experience to accompany others through their own recoveries. This is a story about resilience, reinvention, and the power of connection. Thank you for joining us for part 2, Mike King's interview.
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke. Stroke offers a powerful, life-changing shift in perspective. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Beyond Stillness offers a moment of pause for storytelling and reflection. Ultimately, we create a welcoming environment that reveres the moment beyond stroke's paralysis. Still moments unite humanity and divinity. I'm your host, Molly Bucola. As we begin today, we take a moment of pause to honor the wisdom that has emerged through recovery. And we give thanks. Now, Mike King's interview. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
What do you feel the story's about?
I want people to know that they're amazing no matter what. Like,
Mm.
especially if they're alive from a stroke or something, there's got to be something that said there's a reason. So I want to be a part of that reason. I think there's a reason you're alive. There's a reason you've made it this far. You have to, almost like a baby. I don't want people to be scared anymore. I want them to genuinely feel like this is a good, trusting place because it's crazy out there and it's so hurtful and we don't need to be hurt anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I love that you said, I want to be a voice of trust.
Yeah, I do. And I don't want to be I'm not a voice of promises because there's no promise. That's your decision. I can tell you what it did for me, and this is what I did, but I can't promise you that that's going to, maybe some of the things I did might be a part of your little journey. I think we all, grasp a little from each individual, and as we move along, you get to do it all day long, kind of like you get me, you get Brad, you get all, like
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
it
You
is.
get to
It's very
get to
cool.
meet and see, and I think that is part of your reward being where you were in your journey, and that you're able to be here. I have a kid, a wife, and my mom who has been my mom's everything, right? She raised me. She's just been everywhere for me. So let me tell you something about my mom. But she never, ever missed a wrestling match, a football game, a choir, anything that had to do with us. And my mom worked like 80 hours a week. She worked at Willamette Dental as a hygienist. And then after that, because we were in a divorced family, she'd go to Meyer and Frank's and work in the clothing. And then she'd work in the bakery, wherever there was job. My mom was always working, but she would tell them like she'd come for her lunchtime, wherever it was, watch us wrestle, go back to work, come back. That's kind of like my dad was more like, well, hunting season's here. I'm gonna have to miss your game on Friday and go hunting, but not mom. So
Mom's there.
right. But I see your mom love you, right?
Totally. Totally. And and I feel like you, it's important to be able to offer that to someone else. And you
It
do
really
that.
is.
You do
I
that.
feel proud that I get to. And let me tell you, my whole house was full of, during that time they were coming over from Cambodia and Laos. So I had a lot of Asians in my house. And so everybody's moms. And I felt really proud to be able to give that and not be jealous and be like, no, that's mine, right? That's
Yeah.
my mom. You guys can't have it.
And now you're offering it to others.
Yeah. I'm lucky to have that. And so I have that motivation. And I think sports and like, being on your back and just that, no, I'm not gonna. It's kind of been built in and made. And I don't know how to, for people that don't have that, like, I really don't know what to say, Molly. How do you reach those people that are coming in to you who maybe are at let's say a brain rehab. They maybe have their own little place, but they really have nobody, no mom, no dad, nobody. And they're still making it. Where are they finding their drive? My brother, he did drugs and that's how he lost his life. And then my middle brother had an aneurysm and anything. So I have had those little fights, you know what I mean? And some people all that's gone. So then what do you do? What do you say? But then I think, well, here, I'm here now. I'll help you. And you know what? Then I think about how do we deal with this? They may come across me, so you gotta be patient. I'm ready for all that. I'm not here to say I know everything, but I'm here to give you my ears, my you can do it. Just like you.
I think it's so powerful towards the end of your story when you said, I'm not a medical professional, but I've got life experience and I want to learn with you. I want to be here with you. And there's something very powerful about offering attention and believing in someone. And you said you receive that and now you want to share it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
powerful. When you said that there was a calm feeling that washed over you when you were unable to breathe, and that the feeling said, breathe through your nose.
Yeah. Um,
Can you tell me about the
well, I
feeling?
think that's also that. God, it's almost like this was like almost a feeling of voice, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because I've been through a panic attacks. This was more like I could feel myself going into that anxiety attack and something I can't explain it. It was just like you're okay. And I really I don't God, I don't know. I can't I wish I could give it to people, but it's just a feeling that was like maybe my angel. I don't know. It could have been like something that was just there saying, last thing you need to do is freak out right now.
Hmm. How did that feeling, that moment, change your outlook on life or recovery?
Um, well, I had a son that I had to be strong for. God, I don't know. I think that I've just been through so much, Molly, to be honest with you, that this, what now? That's kind of like, like, and another thing I think about a lot is, I think I've mentioned this in my story. I was pretty happy. My life was content. I was helping others. I'm not talking about my bad habits, having eating or whatever, but treating people and being good to everyone. Like, that was great. Why would this happen to me? Like I said, like, why would you do this? Like, I was helping people. I was fine. But now I think about it now, I need to help maybe this population and community of people. And I think maybe all of us. I really believe that. I just think that it's been mapped out and here we are.
Hmm.
And I really think that people can just open up, especially when there's so much dark and hurt. Like, I know that if they're in this point, they're a good soul. Like I said, you're here, you made it, and I really think that, man, they need us more than ever right now, all of us.
Hmm. You said at one point when you were talking about the bakery,
Yeah.
we are vulnerable, which deepens our mutual trust. Can you tell me more about that?
Um. Well, we all vulnerable. Most of us have lost friends and close friends and a lot of stuff, and we're angry, we're scared, right? We're afraid we're not going to be accepted again. We're just trying to figure out who we are. And the more that we're all together at the bakery, the more we can start to become, and you see it, the real person that they've accepted who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whether that may be like walking slow, it might be like, I don't know if that was funny, but I'm gonna laugh with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just your way you are. Like, whatever. I think they can feel good and safe about that. It's almost like when you go, I could think of middle school and being called some rough names. And here I am, 53 years old, and when those things get thrown at you, you still get a little defense for what, you know what I mean? As you've gone through life, you don't realize how much that word hurt you, right? Even
Yeah.
though you think I feel good about myself. Well, really, that negativity was not at the bakery, no. And even the people, like I said, that work there are just loving but tough love too,
Mm.
right? Like, no, okay, let's stay on track here. Not like tough love, like, you made a mistake, more like helping us stay on track and stop people when they've talked a lot like I can do, or I can talk real loud and, you know, don't tell me to be quiet.
I love Mike's personality. So fun. What was your therapy experience before you found the bakery? Because the bakery seems like it's physical, occupational, cognitive, speech, but really it's community
Yeah, yeah.
first
I
and
and
foremost.
I think when you get to that point, most people, their speech is pretty good and they're getting around pretty good. I think all of us did a lot of occupational therapy, a lot of speech therapy. I mean, 2, 3, 4 times a week sometimes. And then there's a point when they kind of let you go, right? And when all that stuff starts to fade away, there's maybe a month or 3 months in between there that you're really trying to, like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And I know in some places they don't have a program like the bakery or, oh, Love Your Brain. I went to Love Your
Yeah.
Brain. I got a lot out of Love Your Brain. I wanted to do that. That was another thing that got me. So my wife and I raised the money and her and I went and I forgot about all this. Just hearing people's stories really opened my mind up to be like, Yeah, you can't swallow and eat. That really sucks. But that dude just got carted behind his car on his bike for 4 miles. You know what I mean? Just crazy story. Or one kid in the car lost all of his buddies, and he was a equipment manager for an NFL football team, and now he can't talk. But just amazing stuff, and it's really hard for me to feel sorry for. I slur, like life sucks. I can't eat, and but dang, but they can eat, but he can't talk. But still, they're alive. We're all here. Like that really opened me up. I think it's time to quit feeling sorry for yourself. Like
Hmm.
there's other people you can help here in this circle. And we did all through that week. Amy and I, I still write to my buddy that I just talked about. I don't even think he can write, but I still once a month write him a letter. He lives in Florida, and he'll send me little emojis from his girlfriend's phone once in a while. So I know he's doing good. But that was something that people have to, and I loved Kevin's story. I kind of related to the part, especially about the part, the movie, The Real. Anyhow, there's just this part about he thinks he's going to go back and be a snowboarder again. And the fact of the matter is that he's never going to be a snowboarder he ever was and nothing near it. And there was a time at that time in my life, I thought, I'm going back to work. I'm going coaching. I got this. And my poor wife and mom were like, and people at school, at the teachers are probably like, no, it's not. And then you hit that part, you know what I mean? And you're like, okay, woo. I took bits and pieces from all that, and I just came back and exercise. I eat better. These things are important. It can't be living off McDonald's and stuff. You gotta eat good food. And I'm not saying you can't indulge in good things once in a while. And well, I like feeding is, like I said, is a challenge for me. Like I should feed myself once a day, and usually it's once every other day. But at the same time, I know that, so I'll take a boost. I just don't want to deal with the food. It's just, ugh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But people have to, and I don't know how to give them that kick in the rear to, you know, I can just offer my hand, like I said, or us, or we can just be like, you come here today, stepping up here, figuring out the computer, you're here. Let's see if we can meet next week. A lot of people need that.
Let's see if we can meet next week. Just being with someone. You said, I don't know what can kick them into gear. In your story, you talked about your mom and your son and your wife that were there for you the whole time. And I'm sure it was painful for them not to be able to kick you into gear. But you
Oh,
said yourself, I had to hit rock bottom. And
yeah.
it's so painful to watch a loved one have to hit rock bottom. And what we can do, like you said, be there.
Yep.
And that's what you are doing in your life and also now plan to do in a more structured manner, which is so beautiful.
Mm,
You show up for people.
yeah.
Another organization that you've told me about in the past is the Resilient Feed Farm. Is that right? Tell me about that.
Kylie is a beautiful. I met her at the bakery. When I first met her, she had to sit in her chair because she couldn't really work, and she is just that could be another motivator for me too. But she went back to college and started learning about farming. She had this big vision, and she did it. She went and bought her house with a little acre and a half farm on it, and she had to take 2 years to cultivate the soil because there were like railroad ties, and so she had to put all these crops on it and rototill, and so now it's just this farm, and it's just in the beginning, and it's a lot of hard work. You know, I think we're at officially like our third year coming up, and when I go there, it's just a place. I like to be with nature and like watch things. I like that. I like that. Some people getting their hands dirty, but There's something about just being around a garden or fruit trees, beautiful trees, just beautiful stuff. It really is. And a gazebo where people can just sit, and I get to see Brad again. That's another time. And, we just work together at the time, or you get to see people that are already having a hard time doing hard work. Like Michael has a hard time walking. So he has to get on his ground and with one hand and dig hole, dude. You know what I mean? Like in like another day, they just get out there and go for it, they're so happy. And other people just like to see the fruit when it's a great time for all of us to come together. We have lunch every day together. We just started this meditation on the farm, especially in the spring and summer. We lay our mats out on the garden and just another good, safe place
Wow.
for people to come. And I told you about my goal. I really want to have this dog that is just loving, that can be at the farm too, or wherever I go, that just loves on whoever.
Mm.
And that'll come. I think I need to be patient. I'm just throwing that light off because she's right here, my wonderful, but she just doesn't want to love anybody else but me. So it's fine.
Mike, that's funny. You know how sometimes dog people match their dogs?
Mhm.
You are one of those types of people. You see people and you light up and you just want to love on them and be there. And I love that you want that in a dog because it's so fitting.
Mm, it's nice. It really is nice. I think of that too, and I wouldn't only do that with people. I'd go help the elderly too. Like
Mm,
some of they love it.
yeah. You mentioned that there were dogs in the hospital and you loved that dogs came around.
Yeah, just that little bit of love, It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for meeting with me throughout the past 2 months.
Yeah.
I love your depth. I love that you ponder the birds, ponder our own nature, and are deeply gracious in wanting to share this really, really tough experience and wanting to be there for other people. It's courageous, all that you have done in order to get to this point. Create courageous mindsets, taking chances. And now that you're in this space, it's still painful, but the way you offer it to others is beautiful.
Thanks, Molly.
Yeah. Thank you for being you.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. But we still get to see each other at the facilitator.
Yeah.
And then we meet up once a month with that other group too, right?
Yeah.
Second Wednesday.
That's
So,
it.
yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Thank you so much for taking tons of time with me. This has been such a gift.
Yeah, I know it has, Molly. And when I'm in band, I'm going to look you up this summer when Leo has a tournament.
Yes. Storytelling empowers us to share our experiences in a way that invites others to reflect on their own. In closing, we offer reflection questions as an opportunity to spark dialogue with yourself, friends, family, or fellow stroke survivors. In a moment, I'll read questions aloud. You can also find them written in the podcast episode description. Community conversation prompts. How has helping others shaped your sense of self in recovery? How have the communities or relationships you've found after the stroke impacted your recovery?
Beyond Stillness, Stories After Stroke is made possible by our guests and tax-deductible donations from friends and listeners like you. Join us in empowering stroke survivors with stories of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope at www.beyondstillness.org. Another way to support is to like, share, or subscribe to our weekly show.
Thank you for listening to Part 2, Mike King's interview. For the full story, please listen to Part 1, Mike King's story. Each colorful memory creates a parable for life's greater teachings, a compass for journeys ahead, and inspired wisdom for unique growth. Mike's journey reminds us that even in the face of profound loss, renewal is possible. Small steps toward connection and meaning can help us move forward. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, or subscribe, and consider donating to Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke. Remember, as part of the stroke community, you are more than supportive. You are inspirational.